Hello, hello everybody, to my new World Wide Web show, episode 2, Swine Flu.
Swine flu vaccine has raised concerns with people across the world. A new survey shows that 1/3 of British nurses have said that they will not take the swine flu vaccine because they're worried about the possible side effects. Now, the swine flu vaccine from back in the 1970s, which is supposed to be pretty similar to the one that's being offered today, has been linked to a neurological disorder called the Guillain-Barré syndrome.
With me now, Dr. Kent Holtorf, who is an expert on infectious diseases. Doctor, thanks very much. We're going to put up on the screen. Would you give it?
I know from talking to people in the research community, even scientists who helped develop the vaccine for smallpox are saying they're not going to take the vaccine and urging their friends and family not to take this vaccine either.
Most of the flu vaccines are off by months and don't protect you against the flu that's currently out when you get it. This year they sold last year's flu vaccine. Just regular flu vaccine.
Is that right? All right, now what do you think of the vaccination?
I have more concern about the vaccine than I do about the swine flu.
Wonder why?
It's been rushed to market. There are high levels of adjuncts which basically make it more potent, make so they can, it's kind of an unrefined method that they use. They have to use high levels of these adjuncts, including
thimerosal. It's an antiseptic preservative.
mercury.
And hasn't that been linked in some cases to autism?
It has, and you look at it's been shown
it
to cause autism in children with mitochondrial dysfunction. Now, and other is controversial, though highly implicated. And the problem is you don't know if your child has mitochondrial dysfunction. I also worry about children and people who have blood-brain barrier dysfunction or it's not fully developed, which includes children, pregnant women, chronic neurological illnesses, and chronic fatigue syndrome and fibromyalgia. I've seen people been devastated by these infections.
Would you give it to your kids?
I definitely would not.
You would not, all right? And in fairness, I've talked to 3 doctors in 3 days now, and all 3 have said absolutely they would give it to their kids. They intend to give it to their kids. They're going to take it themselves, but you say no.
I definitely would not. I've seen it devastate people with chronic fatigue syndrome and fibromyalgia, highly implicated, again, in autism. I think you're rolling the dice. It's a proven neurotoxin. It has 25,000 times the level of mercury than would be considered toxic if it was food or water. And levels get up, serum levels up to 100 times the toxic level.
You hear that? 25,000 times what can be in food worth of mercury in one shot. Japan's looking at a 1 shot for the h1n1. The United States was looking at a 3 shot, 1 for the regular flu shot, and then 2 others for the swine flu, and triple jabs in other countries. Check that out. 75,000 times what you're allowed to have in your body's worth of mercury. Wonder if it has anything to do with slowing us down.
It's too big of a risk.
All right. Dr. Kent Holtorf, an expert on infectious disease.
That's a cut on that one. Alright. Now this girl here, she just went in for a simple flu shot, went to like 30 different doctors or 60 of them before anybody figured out what was wrong with her. Within 10 days of taking the flu shot, she was messed up. Wonder if it had anything to do with 25,000 times the allowable amount of mercury and something that goes into your body being in it.
Teen vaccination.
Started.
Teen vaccination.
Started. Shot.
You heard her right. A regular flu shot gone horribly wrong. Tonight, the warning this woman wants everyone to hear. Good evening, everyone. I'm Brian Bolton.
And I'm Sean Yancey. A few weeks ago, Desiree Jennings was training for a half marathon. Tonight, she's struggling to walk, talk, even eat, left disabled by a very rare reaction to a seasonal flu shot. Plenty of Coffee has more on this serious side effect.
The vast majority of doctors say flu shots are safe.
Yeah,
in this case, the FDA says
safe.
they found nothing wrong with this particular batch, but sometimes there are complications, and that's apparently what happened to Desiree Jennings.
But you think that after so many, if you vaccinated everybody, then that means millions and millions and millions and millions of people are going to get messed up, and millions more are going to die, and that means a lot of people are going to get messed up strictly from the shot. if they continue to make them the way they have been for the last 50 years.
And now her life will never be the same. Here, 26-year-old Desiree Jennings is the picture of health. She's a Redskins cheerleader ambassador and an avid runner.
The specter of death from swine flu has become part of Canada's readiness plan. In a stunning development, Health Canada shipped body bags to at least 2 First Nations communities in Manitoba. The leaders there are shocked by the decision and offended on more than one level. The CBC's Lindsay Duncombe reports from Winnipeg.
For months, chiefs from northern Manitoba have been waiting for supplies from Health Canada to help fight the swine flu.
Swine flu.
Let's cross stateside, and the US has started to test a swine flu vaccine on children and adults. The US Department.
So how effective would a vaccine be if the majority of people decide not to take it?
Well, from the medical community and know much better about the politicians running the show instead of the people who are the research community, the medical community, saying, look, what we need to provide the public is good information and let them make the decision based on facts. We have the emergency community, the Homeland Security, Federal Emergency Management Agency people talking about forced vaccination.
If you watch show number 1, maybe they're trying to vaccinate everybody so that they'll all forget about the country and let the offshore bankers and corporations have it all, huh?
Forced quarantines, basically the politicians running the show instead of the people who are from the medical community and know much better about the threat of this particular influenza.
And so how...
I mean, you see stuff like this, right?
Here we are, Waianae, Hawaii once again, and this is the McDonald's. And as you can see, the American flag is at the bottom of the pole, below the Hawaiian state flag, and also below the McDonald's flag itself. And the American flag is flying at the bottom at a McDonald's in Waianae, Hawaii.
A little bit weird.
Swine flu vaccine has raised concerns with people across.
Right off the top tonight, a News Edge exclusive, an ailing Redskins cheerleader getting a helping hand from a former Playboy playmate. You may remember Desiree Jennings. Perfectly healthy until a severe reaction to a flu shot left her severely disabled. Her shocking story now receiving some attention from Hollywood. Fox 5's Claudia Coffey spoke with Desiree today.
Desiree Jennings' struggle is getting world...
They were crying. I couldn't understand why. They were crying. They were crying.
Organization founded by actors Jenny McCarthy and Jim Carrey reached out to Desiree.
They've been extremely helpful. They have
talk about
a lot of doctors that deal with vaccine interactions and have sent us so many other stories from their mind. Unfortunately, a lot of theirs were with children, which is worse. I can understand having been an adult, but not a little child that hasn't had any chance to lose their life and can't speak. So I want to speak because I can, they can't, and I want to help them too.
McCarthy's 7-year-old son, Evan, is autistic. She founded Generation Rescue along with actor...
That had to do something with the time about around when the kid got a shot, which I was looking at statistics on another show. Maybe I'll add it in here. 5,000 kids, 1 in 5,000 kids before 1987 or 89 had autism. Now 1 in 166 have autism. In 1987 or 89, one of those 2 years, they started giving 23 shots to the kids instead of just 11 shots, which I gave previous to that. And like the hepatitis whatever vaccine that they give the little kid, they said that the guy was like, the EPA recommends you have to be 250 pounds to absorb that shot, and they give the full shot to the kids.
Jim Carrey to educate people about ways to reverse autism. The organization is now raising awareness over the safety of vaccines, including flu shots. Generation Rescue's president Stan Kurtz was so touched by Desiree's story. The organization is hoping to fly her out to...
Alright, all I'm saying, America, is this is looking a little strange. You should probably get your facts straight before you go in taking experimental shots that they try to tell us This is some kind of Star Trek days where they can just come up with a cure for something or whatnot. And then it's experimental. It's untested. I mean, it's tested, but it's not tested. They're testing it. I want you all to have a nice night. Thank you for watching my internet show. There's much more information. I'm going to try to put links or repost all these videos that I've been getting these clips from, like the whole entire article, so you can look at them. There's a lot more information than what I've covered in there, and I think you should all look at it. And next show we'll probably do fluorinated water, just what's in our water. Why is it there? Is there even a law? Some of the stuff that we don't want is in there just because they're putting it in there. Who's they? Your state and local governments and federal governments.